Hi, welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
Hello, I'm filming.
We're leaving to go out to Washoe Lake State Park for pretty much a week. There's a Bluegrass Festival this week in Northern Nevada Bluegrass Association Bluegrass Festival. We're going to go to that.
Out at Bowers Mansion.
Bowers Mansion on the far side of Washoe Lake. I guess the west side of Washoe Lake. And we're going to go out there, hang out, relax, spend time together. Should be good.
Driver clear. Okay, we're headed out to Washoe. It's not a far drive from our house, maybe about 20 minutes to the north on Highway 580, and we'll see you a little later. Well, we've left our house now and we're headed north out to our camp spot at Washoe State Park.
It's pretty close. I don't even think it'll take, I'm sure it won't take half an hour to get there.
Yeah, I was thinking like 20 minutes or so, but then you got to set up. That takes about an hour, 45 minutes, I guess, before you can relax.
The campground, those hills up ahead, the campground's just on the other side of those hills in Washoe Valley, where there's a lake. I think that's why they call it Washoe Lake State Park.
But the lake is having issues, like a lot of lakes. It's having algae plume.
Yeah.
Bacteria algae plume, but I know a lot of lakes are having that because of these warm temperatures this year, so. But we had no intentions of going on the lake. It's more the scenery out there than getting on the lake. All right, out there is Washoe Lake. We're just coming down to our turn. We'll be turning right.
There's a rock coming up on the right, though I don't know if you can see it very good from this side, called Snoopy Rock. It looks just like Snoopy. And then somebody had to go and paint it just to make sure everybody would notice that it was Snoopy Rock. So
now, if we look, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, out here you may see some wild horses. Wild horses live out here. I see some, but they're out there pretty far.
There's some over there.
Yeah, this one's, can't really get a good picture of that.
And then this is a nature area too, that wetlands, protected wetlands, with like bird watching areas. Here's one of those bird watch stands.
Can't really get that. So you can see out there some white top. That's the campground out there that we are going to. Nice, quiet little campground. People will be camping there that are attending the Bluegrass, the Northern Nevada Bluegrass Festival. And then the festival is across the way on the other side at Bowers Mansion, and that starts on Friday. Today is Wednesday.
It's a pretty nice campground too. It's big, it's spaced out. There's not a ton of shade, but there's bathrooms there they keep nice and clean, and shower areas they keep nice and clean. Here comes Snoopy Rock up on the right. The big rock, you really can't see it from here.
can't see that it's
Then
Snoopy,
it's
from
Snoopy.
here.
It's a campground. It's got water, and then, like I said, bathrooms and shower buildings that are all pretty close, pretty centrally located. The sewer dump station is, there's a driveway leaving, that there's a sewer dump station, and obviously that's where you dump your tanks when you leave. And it's about it. It costs $26 a night to camp there, which is a pretty good deal. So.
And if you come and you camp and you have, a vehicle you can drive, you're close to Lake Tahoe, Reno, Virginia City, capital of Nevada, Carson City. So it's a great location too to camp and then drive and go visit other places if you want.
And those big green fields up kind of straight ahead to the left, they're all posted with no hunting signs, and the deer know that, and when it's deer season, they all go hang around there, and the fields are just covered with deer. Hundreds of deer. Is that it?
We're driving through our camping location at Washoe State Park. These are some of the campgrounds. There are camp spots. They're pretty spaced out, which is really nice. Bump bump. I forgot to say bump bump.
Gotta say bump bump. There's the trash area. Trash dumpsters. Visitor parking.
Oh, that's good. There's a visitor parking there.
Each camping space has a shade structure and a picnic table.
And a fire pit, but you can't use them.
And a fire pit, but you can't use them during fire season. Electrical hookups, 50 amp and 30 amp, and the 20 amp convenience outlet.
Bump bump.
And a water spigot.
Bump bump.
And they're good water spigots. They're vacuum breaker water spigots. You got to remember, when you turn the hose on, it'll spray water out. There's a little slider you have to pull down. They're about the best vacuum breaker hose bibs you can get. This one on the right's a handicap spot. And there's two loops in here, Loop A and Loop B. We're on Loop A, and Loop B, we'll see here in a minute, is over in this area. And some horseshoe pits.
Yeah, they have an equestrian area, so if you have horses, they have a whole area there where you can ride your horses.
And they have a few stalls, place to unload your horse trailer. And then down there you can see those other shade structures. That's a day use area.
We'll drive through there later.
Look at that gazebo up there.
Yep. I'll have to get that when we come back. There's a day use area. People come out and picnic there. Picnic tables. Oh, there's some wild horses. See them?
Yep. where that fire was. That one's been quite a while now.
Yeah.
I think that was a little valley fire.
Little
that got
valley
out of
fire.
control.
Yeah.
Controlled burn.
All right, so we're gonna film the road, 0395, so you can see the different ranch properties. It's a neat little road this way over to Bowers Mansion. And up there, the mountain, that's Slide Mountain.
This area's really grown up out here, though. When I was a kid, it was all just pretty much vacant. My mom had a friend named Nita Freeman who lived, I guess, it always seemed to me like she lived a lot farther north. But my mom said she lived on Lonesome Polecat Lane. When I was a little kid, we only went out there a couple times. But she lived out here somewhere. And we would get to her house by taking the bridge off the newer 395, the 580 section now. It was called London Bridge because they built it a couple times and it sunk in the soils out here. They didn't do the soils engineering correctly, I guess. But there was a funny story with Nita Freeman and her husband. They had a garden, and her husband had an old parachute that he used for a shade over their garden. And what was the name of that hijacker guy? D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper hijacked the 747. They brought the ransom money on the plane. He let the people go. And then he jumped out of it wasn't a 747. It was I don't know, some kind of Boeing plane. And the unique thing about that plane is you could get off the plane. There was a back door built onto the plane. So he hijacked the plane, and somewhere during the flight of the plane, he opened the back door and jumped out. And they didn't know where he jumped out or anything. And so the FBI was out looking for evidence of D.B. Cooper and saw this parachute stretched out over a bunch of stuff, and stopped by their house and wanted to talk to them about why that parachute was there and all that stuff. So, but D.B. Cooper was an interesting story. He, according to some people, got away with it, and nobody ever really knew what happened to him. They never found him. I think they found a little of the money. It had the recorded serial numbers on it, but not all of it. And there was people that reported seeing him and pictures that looked like him later. So nobody ever really quite knew what happened to old D.B. Cooper. So, but it's an interesting story.
So you can see over here to the left, there was a fire here, the little valley fire. But it ended up being a lawsuit because it was a controlled burn and the winds came up, and I believe it was left unattended. So anyway, the property owners whose houses burned did get the right to sue the Forest Service, I believe it was, for that. But you can kind of see that scar mark. What I like about these ranch properties out here, they're like little compounds, and a lot of people paint all of the pieces of buildings they have on their property the same color. But they're big. Some of them have horses, some of them don't. This here, right over to the left, this is Franktown Road. There are some very nice, big, expensive houses up that road. I'm going to turn over here to the side, maybe get a little more of the properties. That's the end of our drive over to Bowers Mansion, and tomorrow we'll pick up with day 3 in our drive. I everybody, it's day 3 of the Northern Nevada Bluegrass Festival. Yesterday, welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
Welcome to Out and About with Tom and Sherry.
Anyway, so yesterday was day 2, and it got wild at the end of the day. It was very windy. We had a few sprinkles every now and then started hailing. Got real heavy rain, wind. That ended the day early, about an hour and a half early, I guess it was.
Ended before the last band.
Yep, so we didn't see the last band, so we're hoping maybe they'll show up today for day 3. We're headed over to Bowers Mansion, and we're going to take the north route on Eastlake Blvd. Give you a different scenery, heading over to the mansion today. Looks like it's going to be nice today. It's sunny out, a few clouds, but don't look too bad. It's not windy at the moment. So anyway, so we're going to head over to the north side. All right, so we're headed north on Eastlake Blvd. So we thought we'd give you a little scenery here. This is the Rangers station for the park.
Park headquarters.
On this side of the lake, you still have some ranch property, and obviously you're on the Washoe Lake side. We just pulled out of the camping area, heading north.
This side is, I don't know, I think has the more scenic views. Looking to the west, the east side, you know, your views look to the west toward the Sierras and it's Slide Mountain. And it's interesting, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's the trend around here anyways, that the lower cost housing has what is, in my opinion, the better views looking to the west versus the real high dollar housing looking east looks out over this. Versus the west, you've got the Sierras. So, I always thought that was interesting.
There's some cows.
And some deer. There's a bunch of deer over there.
Oh, that's what it was, deer. I thought it was cows.
The deer love those fields, and I think the people who own the fields kind of encourage the deer there. We talked about this before, but they put up no hunting signs around there during deer hunting season. There's hundreds, literally hundreds of deer in there. They just go in there and they eat the alfalfa. And I noticed when we drove past it, it's called Deer Run Ranch Bed and Breakfast. So that kind of tells me they encourage the deer there. So, but these are all newer houses in here on the right, and you know, they're more expensive houses. It used to be that Eastlake Blvd was pretty, you know, it was a place to go get low cost housing. There's a lot of mobile homes out here and planer houses, and I think it would be a neat place to live. If you want trees out here, you got to plant your own. But, you know, people have been out here for quite a while, so there's a lot of lots with established trees and stuff, and the housing is still fairly inexpensive. So, section. I think this is called Washoe City, and but with the lower cost housing, a lot of modular homes, a lot of mobile homes. But I think really a neat area to live in. And coming up here on the left, you can see the sign. You can see the yellow sign for the Dollar General. Yeah, but there's a bar here called the Washoe Camp Saloon. And they have bands there. My friend's bluegrass band, the Rough Edges, plays here
Pretty regularly.
Yeah, pretty regularly, several times a summer. And, yeah, here's the Washoe Camp Saloon on the left. And in the Camp Grill, they got a restaurant there. We passed another restaurant. There's a pavement grinder on the right. It's a real working class type neighborhood with big lots, you know. It's a working class neighborhood with room for people to spread out. You see a lot of RVs, a lot of off-road vehicles, a lot of projects, a lot of horses. Radio guy over here on the left. Oh, this is I guess it's a Forest Service station. Yeah, they got their radio antenna. Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District over here on the right. Not sure what that is on the left there. It's kind of an interesting building. Oh, the Washoe Nursery, they propagate trees out here, and you can come out here and get them real cheap, you know, for $1 or $2, you know, for a foot or two tall trees. They're all native trees. Looks like someone's putting in another house there on the right, maybe even a subdivision. That's a lot of equipment out there. And this lake up here on the left is called Little Washoe Lake. It used to be, you know, 30, 40 years ago, Washoe Lake was all one big lake, and then as lakes do, you know, they kind of fell in, especially lakes like this that really don't have much of an outlet. They fell in, and then with droughts, water levels have dropped. So now there's two lakes most years, Little Washoe and Washoe Lake. And sometimes they connect, sometimes they don't. I think right now Little Washoe and Big Washoe are connected by, I guess I'd call it a marshy wetland area. I'm not sure you can take much of a boat through there, but Washoe Lake in general isn't very deep. I think it gets up to about maybe 15 feet deep. So, and then to the right is Galena Creek Bridge, which was the highest single arch bridge in at least the country, maybe the world, for maybe a year, until they built a taller one over Hoover Dam using basically the same design. So, and it was quite a challenge to build. We'll talk about that in another video, which is the challenges they had building it and the way they overcame those challenges.
So up ahead, we're now back on 395, Highway 395. And up ahead is the other side of that slide mountain. This is Mount Rose Ski Resort up above here. And you'll see the highway there. That's 580. before that was built, what's that been? 10 years? Has it been that long?
Oh yeah.
This was the road you had to take to get to Reno. So now you can take this road, or you can take 580.
In this area, this used to be, you know, the main road to Reno, and then it's really changed. You know, there used to be some more retail stuff in here. There was a gas station mini market that's closed down, and now it's kind of more, you know, landscaper type properties.
Marijuana store.
Marijuana store. I don't know if that's where Sherry gets her marijuana, but
Right.
there's a marijuana store there.
And the chocolate
store.
factory, that's famous.
That's famous. It used to really thrive here, and they actually moved it, opened another location when the highway closed in. Retail-wise, this area just kind of fizzled out, which is, I don't know, I guess it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the people that own the stores here.
But certainly less traffic for the people who have
People who want to
residences here.
Yep.
So there's Washoe Lake from this, heading south now. And right up here on the left, this is the old Winters family house. There's a lot of famous history with that.
And on the right is somebody who lives out there in their RV in between the highways. And there's some quirk that allows them to do that. I think they own the property. It's just kind of a quirk that allows them to be able to live there in their RV. I'm not sure I'd want to, but I guess they like it.
And up here on the right is another campground. This is David's Creek campground over here. Move over this way, get a better view. You can see some of the campers in there.
And the mountain back behind it, Slide Mountain, obviously is slid down a few times. And the most recent, in the, I guess, late 70s, early 80s, slid down, filled in one lake, which sloshed into another lake and caused a big rock and mud slide to come down, and came right through this area we're in, up here on the left, a little ways ahead. A couple of houses got buried. I don't think anybody got hurt, but a couple of houses got buried, and up here on the right is somebody who made lemonade out of lemons, and he opened up a gravel pit and aggregate pit. You can kind of see the rocks over here, and I think once we get over the top of this hill, you'll see more. Yeah, it was down in there. I guess it looks like now they've got it pretty well excavated and cleaned up. So, but you can see where it came down through here and knocked down trees. And off to the left too, it's made a pretty big mess. Now coming up on the right, kind of straight ahead, you can see Bowers Mansion. That's where the Bluegrass Festival is. You can see the top of the mansion sticking out over there. This is a popular area for the real serious bike riders that just like to put miles on their bikes. There's a real flat section of road, and up here closer to the mountains, it's not real windy.
All right, so we're back for our third day, final day. leaving the Bluegrass Festival. It was a fun 3 days. Today was perfect weather today. Huh.
Yeah, today was nice.
So,
Got up to 70 degrees, sunny. Perfect weather.
so we will get some some video on the way out as we go past Bowers.
Yeah, Carson City's just literally over that hill.
Lots of cows.
A lot of cows over there. My dad used to like to honk at the cows.
None of them.
Man, that one's fat. Look at that cow.
None of them even looked.
Huh?
I said none of them even looked when you honked.
They heard.
They're like, yeah, yeah.
I'm not honking for the cows. I'm honking for my dad.
Property here. I think it's a little further down the road. They got a nice little compound of ranch property. It's kind of a steel blue paint. Maybe darker than that. Got multiple buildings. Got like a burgundy trim on it. Oh, there's some goats over there.
On the left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a little further down.
Out of places that it could be. There's got a racetrack here.
It's coming up, coming up. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Blue one coming up right after this brown house. See the blue? They got multiple buildings. Can't get it too good. Oh well. I like that one.
So I got a story from when I was a young boy growing up in Nevada. We were driving back from Reno with my mom and my sisters, Susan and Ann. And we were real thirsty. As kids, we were real thirsty. I guess we couldn't wait to get home to have some water to drink. And my mom, we had some licorice buns, and my mom said, well, suck on these licorice buns. We sucked on those licorice buns, and it wasn't enough. And so we stopped at Bowers Mansion to use the drinking fountain because we couldn't wait the extra 10 minutes to get a drink of water. 10 minutes till we got home to get a drink of water. Felt like pioneers crossing the desert. So that's my story of a young boy from when I was a young boy growing up in Nevada.
his soup for dinner and unfortunately rubbed his eye. We were driving along, swerving. I'm thinking, what's going on? Why is he driving so weird? I look over, he got one eye all closed up trying to drive.
Sun was in my other eye.
I said, maybe you should pull over and let me drive.
It's a bad situation. That happens sometimes if you pick up sliced jalapenos with your fingers. Maybe that's why they give you chopsticks with your soup. But I picked up sliced jalapenos with my finger, and I noticed these are pretty hot ones. We're driving back, and I rubbed my eye, and boom, bad situation.
Well, this wraps up our video of our stay at Washoe Lake State Park, and specifically our drive around the lake, both the east and the west side. We hope you enjoyed the scenery. There are 2 other videos that we'll be posting, one of the Bluegrass Festival and then another kind of review video of the park. We'll do a slow walk around, talk about the different facilities, so we'll hope you check those out. Again, thanks for watching Out and About with Tom and Sherry. We invite you to subscribe to the channel, and if you like the video, click like and share with your family and friends. And we invite comments too. We'd love to hear what you think of the park, the scenery, if you've been out there. So feel free to post some comments. All right, well, we'll see you next time.